We all get to make decisions, right? And there's different levels of decisions. So this morning, when I got up this morning, I decided what I was going to do for breakfast, how I was going to dress, how I could take care of myself. Now, a lot of our decisions that we make are on autopilot. So we spend about 80% of our life on autopilot in these decisions, in the decision-making process. We make these decisions, and then they become just routine, and they're really not the decision that we're talking about when it comes to transforming your life. You're going to transform your life, well, you're going to have to make some decisions. And decisions are the things that you're committed to, the things that you will stay focused on for a long period of time. And that decision, it takes a little bit more work, because we make a decision, we call them, I'm going to make a goal, I'm going to set a goal. We do these things, and then we end up not being committed to it. So what is the level of our decision? What is the decision-making process? And how do you make then a decision that will sustain you, that will move you forward in transforming your life? Because we all want to have our life transformed, right? We want to have a better life. I mean, I don't want to live the same way I lived 20 years ago, because life changes, right? There's so many more advances in life, just in technology. Why would I want to stay in 20-year-old technology? I wouldn't, right? I want to come forward, and I want to enjoy the best of technology. Well, it's the same way in my life. As I get older and experience things, I want to transform my life so that I can have the life that I want, the lifestyle that I want, the way I want to live. But lots of times, we kind of get stuck. We kind of get stuck in this, in that we don't make the decision to transform our life. We make decisions, yeah. But I would like to know how many of you out there really have a job because of a default. The default might be, you know what, I went to college. Yeah, I graduated from college. But that was a default. Everybody in my family did it. I really didn't know what I wanted to study, and I ended up being an accountant, or being this, or doing that. Or, I didn't really give a lot of thought, and the next thing you know, I'm in this. This is called living life on default. I used to call it a wandering generality. We really don't decide what it is that we want to do. We think about things, but we don't really decide. So tonight, how do you make that decision? How do decisions really happen? So the first thing that happens is we have a thought. And an individual thought doesn't really carry much weight. So if I just have one thought about something, it doesn't carry much weight. But I have to add like thought to it. So I have to think, you know what? I want to transform my life so that I have more income in my life. Well, I have to think about that. Yep. Okay, that's what I want. Tomorrow I think about it. Next day I think about it. At noon I think about it. At lunchtime I think about it. And pretty soon it's like, yeah, okay, I want to have more income. And that thought becomes stronger because you add like thought to it over and over and over and over again. Well, as adults, we have a tendency to dismiss a lot of things because we start to think in terms of, well, that's not real. I can't have that. I'm not going to earn $1 million tomorrow, so I'm not going to stress over this. And we have a tendency to dismiss a lot of things, a lot of our potential. We just push it aside. So you need to understand, number one is like thought. So you have to understand that you're going to think about what it is that you want to make this decision on. Then after we add enough thought to it, then we have to put some energy with it. We have to move that thought into some type of energy. And emotion is energy. Our emotion is the fuel. Our emotion is what moves us. Okay? So if I really want to put emotion in something, I can go, yes, we're going to go to a beach. Yes, we are. If I add more thought to it, pretty soon, yes, 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 yes. And it gets more and more emotionally charged. So commitment is that energy, that fuel that kind of binds everything together. It's the best thing I can think of is when I was younger, we lived on a farm in Washington State. And we had a tractor. It was a diesel tractor. It wasn't very old. I was maybe 12 years old, 10, 11, 12 years old, right in there. Not old enough to drive the tractor. We would get to drive once in a while, but not enough really to drive this particular tractor. And, we had experimented with gasoline by making lines in the gravel, and then we would light it, and it would, create this cool little flame. And we had practiced doing that as kids. Of course, our parents didn't know that we were, being pyrotechnic type people down by the barn with the potential of burning the barn down. But we did it anyway. We'd create all kinds of weird and fun stuff. We burned up airplanes and all kinds of things. But anyway, had this diesel fuel. And I thought, this was going to be cool. This is diesel. The tractor sounds really cool, and it's much more powerful. This has got to be cool. And so I put a little diesel in this little thing that I was making, and then I got the match, and I lit the match and put it on the diesel, and went out. It's like, what the heck? So I put a little more diesel down and got a match, and went out. I thought, this is crazy. This is diesel fuel. It fired, the tractor fires up, and then this should be burning. And I mounded the dirt up a little bit so I could create a little puddle, and I mounded the dirt up, and I put more in there, and there's a little puddle of diesel fuel in there, and put another match in there, went out. Like, you can't even light this stuff with a match. And so I thought, oh, you know what? I've watched before, and sometimes you have to have starter fluid that you spray, and then you fire up and pretty soon the tractor's and it's running, and all the diesel fuel is now being ignited because of what starter fluid does. Well, I thought, okay, that's what I need. So I went in the barn, I got a little gasoline, and I put a little gasoline on the diesel. Not very much. Just enough to cover the surface, and gasoline's lighter than diesel, and so gasoline was sitting on the top, diesel was sitting underneath. Step back, lit the match, threw it on there, and oh man, it was a big flame, and it was just big black bellowing smoke, and I was like, whoa, it's on fire, and now I have big black smoke going. I needed to put it out. I couldn't put it out. I threw dirt on it, and it kept burning because the dirt was saturated in diesel fuel, and the diesel fuel was now on fire. And so I put dirt on it and just get blacker and blacker and blacker, and it was just like bellows of black smoke. And finally, after about 20 minutes, I got it out, and I was just like, whoa, that was cool. But I did get in trouble because everybody saw the black smoke. But my point of the story is that commitment is like gasoline on the emotion. You throw the commitment in there with all the emotion, with the passion, with the burning desire. You want to go do this, and yes, you've got to do it. And then you throw commitment on there. It's like, and man, then it's really burning it because you're committed to it. And you just hang in there because you're committed to your commitment, and you keep moving it forward. Oh, that's what commitment does. When you decide to do something, when you understand you put enough thought and enough exercise into it as far as self-discovery, and you decide you want to do it, you start getting excited because, yeah, I'm going to lay on the beach, I'm going to get a suntan, this is going to be cool. And then you throw commitment onto it. Next thing you know, you're on a jet airplane. And you're flying to wherever you're going because you've made the decision and you've put all the commitment and all the energy and everything into it. So that is decision and commitment.